Hey, Tony Gaskins here, just popping in. Now, y'all got to forgive me. I was sitting here and it went to hailing, and I could see like the little ice balls hitting the window. Just dropped my son off for soccer training, but it got bad out of nowhere. It's 6 degrees Celsius. I don't know what degrees that is, but it's 6 degrees Celsius. What that is, but it looked cold. And then the little ice things came down and they got to practice. So I'm gonna sit here for a little minute. But okay, that's an airplane. But yeah, I wanted to pop on here because a young lady, she said in the comments, she said, guys sending pictures to each other is not normal. And that's what I said, but today that is normal, but they're not sending it to each other like text message. It's like social media updates. So it ain't really sending a picture to another guy. It's like they posting on their story, but they guy friends, and it could be some of their homegirls too, is on there. But to me, it just looked like guys taking selfies all day. But it's literally just everywhere they go, everywhere they at. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, this is exhausting. But my son, he hit me the other day and said he deleted his Snapchat. And that's where they do that at, Snapchat, and his TikTok. So I was like, I felt like it was a bit too much, but neither one of them things really build brand. But he said he want to be more productive with his time. Where it come from, I don't know. He have them little whims every now and then. He'll be back on it in a week or two probably. But the point of what I'm saying is that the world is normalizing what's not normal. Because think about what's also not normal. It ain't normal to be shooting a video in your car. But that's normal. Think about this now. Think about us having social media. And take yourself all the way back to before you had a cell phone. If you of the age to where you can remember life before you had a cell phone, how much time did you have? What did you do with that time? You see what I'm saying? When I think about what I did with that time before a cell phone, before we had a tablet, before we had a video game, what did we do with that time? And so here's the thing. I'm 5'10", so I say. I think the measuring tape say 5'9.5", but I'm 5'10" now. And my son is 5'5", and he is about to be 17 years old. He haven't had a growth spurt. Now, yes, he was a premature baby, so that played into it. So I can't really compare myself to him, but I was this height at 17. And so I grew at a normal rate. But one of the things that I was thinking about is, think about for the kids who are not supposed to be super tall, but think about how their growth is still being stunted by less sleep because of cell phone and video game, by radiation. Radiation ain't good for the body. So radiation from their phone for a minimum of 3 hours a day. Think about how that could affect someone's development, someone's growth. And also, that car ain't hit that other car, did it? And then think about that. And think about how more socially awkward that kids may become because of always being on a video game, or always being in a bubble with their friends, to where people don't speak to each other. Now, I'm over here in England, and they saying in England they don't speak to each other, but I don't think that was always England. You know why? Because I just was watching two men from England saying that they don't really do nightclubs anymore. They were saying that it was at such and such year, maybe it was 2020 or something like that, it was 1,500 nightclubs, or last year 1,500 nightclubs, and now they got 500 to 600 nightclubs. And the guy said he talked to his 24-year-old niece, and she said they don't nightclub, and her and her friends don't go to the nightclub. They go to festivals and concerts. And if a concert is at a club, they'll go to that club for that concert. So this generation is becoming less social. Because I know when I was coming up, when I was in college, we went to the club every weekend. Some people went to the club Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. But we went to the club every weekend. Every Saturday night at least we was in the club. But now these kids, they go and get on the video game, or they just sit on social media, scrolling social media. If they is going to the club, they in the club on social media. So what's happening is the goal of the adversary is to normalize what's not normal. And you got to think about where you a victim of it at. You ain't want to hear that. You ain't want to hear that. You got to think about, where are you doing regularly what's not normal? I was listening to a doctor, and he was saying it is not normal to have a calorie intake 8 times a day. He said the average human intakes calories 8 times a day. He said your ancestors were not grazers. He said they ate 2 times a day, at the most 3 times a day. He said the average human is putting something in their mouth, caloric intake on average 8 times a day. And he's saying that's why we are obese. Say we are obese because we have been told that we need to eat every 2 hours, every 3 hours. But when you eat every 2 hours, your body has not had the time to burn the last energy deposit. So it ends up storing and storing on top of storing, and that's how we gaining weight. And that's how we can't get that weight off. And then we'll go do cardio every day or as much as, and we still don't lose weight. He says it's not about cardio. 2 doctors say it's not about cardio. Cardio don't help you lose weight if you go and eat back the calories that you just burn, or if you eat bad calories, things that's gonna spike your insulin, like carbs. Say a lot of carbs spike your insulin, and insulin makes you gain weight. And he said that's why everybody with type 2 diabetes, when they start if they do insulin shots, they gain weight. He said anybody who get insulin will gain weight. That's what the doctor said. Now, this ain't no fly-by-night, just random walking, talking bobblehead. And I'm like, man, you know what? And he said that's why in religion there's fasting, because fasting cleanses your body. It allows you to burn the stored fat, burn the stored energy. And when it starts to burn, and you start to burn all of that excess, you start to get more clarity. That's why people fast and pray, because with that fasting and that burning, that yearning, that cleansing, you start to get more clarity, you get more alert. He say they did a study, because people say, well, if you don't eat, if you fast, your body gonna stop burning calories. He said they did a study, and on day 1, people's body burned the normal calories, 2,000 calories. He said on day 4 of fasting, their body was burning 2,200 calories. He said their body was burning 200 calories more, because the body has to work to protect itself. Because now it starts to work, and it starts to take from them reserves to eat off of it. to live from your reserves. He says, so when you eating, that's you putting up reserves. And becoming obese is just stacking reserves on top of reserves and never letting it burn. Not burning it and letting it burn. You just, before you could burn something, you live in a sedentary lifestyle. So before you could burn something, you eating something else. And he said, you just have to listen to the body. And I thought about that thing, and I said, you know what? A lot of people don't realize, like, when they fast and they start to feel a way, they're like, oh, I gotta eat. But no, you starting to feel sick because your body getting ready to purge. You getting ready to burn. You burning, so that's why it's feeling, because your body now is burning that fat. It burning that fat. It's breaking down that sugar. It's breaking down. Now you finna either have use that bathroom. Some people might even throw up. Some people might, feel a little way, but that's that cleansing, that purging, the body doing what it do. The doctor say the body's so smart. It's going to do what it need to do. But it also, every time you put something in your body, that's energy. And it's also a message to the body. He said, so you telling your body something when you fast and when you eat. And so here's the thing. We have normalized what's not normal. So our ancestors were not grazers, meaning eating all day. But he said we sit there and we sitting at work and we eat Oreos. We eat other cookies. And we just, every hour, we put some chips, Diet Coke. And they say the Diet Coke, the artificial sugars be worse than the real sugar. They say because your body will end up knowing how to handle the real sugar, but the artificial sugar, the Diet Coke, and that's why you'll see a lot of people have a Diet Coke stomach or be drinking Diet Coke and never lose no weight because that artificial sugar, that aspartame. And so here I'm sitting listening to these doctors, and every doctor, they be contradicting each other. But when somebody says something that resonate with your spirit, so when the doctor was describing what my body do and what my body feel good when it's doing it, I say, oh, this is a doctor that talking for people who got my body type. Because I feel better when I fast, meaning when I go without eating so regularly. When I take 12 to 18 hours between a meal, I feel better. That bloating go away. I lean out because that body go to burn it. And then here's the key, is when you eat, this is where we mess up. See, we have normalized processed foods, processed meats, processed carbs. So we will eat, and now we just dump junk in our body. So you done fasted, but then you eat something that your body can't even really break down and process and really turn into energy, real energy. So he was like, you can't overdo it with the carbs. Like, you got to eat a normal amount of carbs, but you just can't be carb loading, just eating a whole bunch of carbs if you're not really burning that much. And so this the thing, when you look at it, is look at what the devil goal is. Because now if you live like God, you gonna be fit, fine, and fabulous. If you live like God, like if you truly tap into the favor of God, we finna be fit, fine, and fabulous. Like, but we don't tap in. We do what the adversary, and what do the adversary want to do? He want to make us, what the people have coined, fat nasty. He want to make us fat and nasty. You know what I mean by that? The devil want us to be overweight, because that's going to lead to bad health. It's going to lead to depression. It's going to lead to binge eating. He wants us to be overweight, and he wants us to be nasty. Meaning porn, fornication, all this right here, what Jaden Smith and Justin Bieber got going on, he want us to be either overweight or nasty, because both of those is going to start to separate us from the way and the word and the will of God. And it does it without you noticing it. Because before you notice it, we will become gluttonous for one thing or another. Like, I might be gluttonous for pizza. I might be gluttonous for Popeyes. I might be gluttonous for strawberry lemonade. I might be gluttonous. And so in that moment, for one, I'm not fasting. Because, see, a lot of times people think fast got to be a 21-day Daniel fast. No, you could fast daily. You could fast 12 hours in a day. Like, you could fast just in your morning. You could fast by just letting your body get up and burn and you moving. You're not just stationary. You know, you get up and you do a little movement, and you might not eat till noon instead of eating right when you wake up. Because now nutritionists and all of that, sometimes they'll say eat 30 minutes within waking up. But a nutritionist, not a doctor. The doctors I'm listening to, they surgeons, they heart surgeons. And so the doctor he say this is a myth that you got to eat soon as you wake up. He said when you wake up, your body is releasing stuff into your system to give you energy, to get you up, to get you moving. It's working, it's burning. He say you ain't got to interrupt that process. You let that burn happen. Let that burn happen. And then when you eat, it should be about 14 hours from when you ate dinner. That's what the doc say. Because he say at 12 hours, he say all that mean is break fast. Breakfast means break the fast. He say, so even in the English language, we supposed to fast. We have a fast. But he say, but what breakfast is breaking your fast from when you last ate. So he said, if you eat at 6 p.m., at 6 a.m., that's 12 hours. So that's normal. Like if you eat at 8 p.m., most of us eat at 8 p.m. So at 8 p.m., 8 a.m., that's 12 hours. He says, so at 12 hours, you really don't tap into that next level where it start to burn fat, where your body really start to burn fat. And that next level, I think what he said, apogee or something like that. He said apogee or thapogee, some A word. He said that happened around 14 to 16 hours. And that's when that thing start to burn. And I say, he ain't lying now. He ain't lying, because I be feeling it. I be feeling it. But then when you eat fuel. You got to eat fuel. Meaning whole foods. Whole foods. So what the doctor said about whole foods is stuff that come out the ground. So that right there, what you take out the freezer and you put in the microwave, that don't come out the ground. That ain't whole food. That's processed food. That freeze up thing, that Hot Pocket, that TV dinner, that's processed food. Whole food is you literally got you some broccoli or some carrots, and then you get you some protein, whether that's a chicken breast or whether that's some beef slices. And he said that both of these doctors said that the vegan diet, he say the reason why people think that it's good is because it's better than processed food. He say we live in such a process, both doctors, so when I say he, I'm talking about both of them. They did two separate interviews, but they corroborated each other. They say we live in such a processed society that when a person goes vegan, they have all kind of benefits. But he said a vegan has to be very intentional or they will be unhealthy. He said a vegan has to be very intentional because you cannot, our stomachs is not processed to get all of the nutrients from plants the way what they call them, ruminant animal who have multiple stomachs. I said, that makes sense, man. That makes sense. They say ancestrally, we ate animals, and the animals had the stomachs to eat the plants, and their stomachs could process and extract all the nutrients from the plants. And then we eat the animal, and we get the nutrient from the meat that the animal has processed. But he said if we just try to eat plants, we will be nutrient deficient. And he said that's why a lot of people have to take so many supplements. But he say if you do your dieting right, like if you eat right, you should not need supplements. And I heard another doctor say that we very deficient in, see, this is what I watch on YouTube. While y'all watching the old bobblehead girl y'all be talking about that's giving y'all these bad strategies for love and dating, I'm watching doctor growing. While y'all watching those nut cases. And so that's what I'm trying to tell you. You got to change your input. It's going to change your output. So you can't expect to be no millionaire if you putting dollar out, thousand out into your mindset. You got to put millionaire mindset into your mindset if you want to be a millionaire. You want to be successful. You want to be lean. You want to be slim and trim. You want to be happy, fit, fabulous, fun. You got to change your input, and it's going to change your output. And so the other doctors say 97% of humans are deficient in that fish oil. He say, so we need to eat more fish, or you got to take that omega-3 fish oil supplement. He say, but we need that. That was another doctor. Now, the thing about it is these doctors, they got this knowledge, and they say they live by this knowledge, but they don't have a six-pack of abs. And that's what a lot of people got to realize, that a six-pack of abs ain't necessarily healthy. But you could have a normal body. Remember when back in the day, a woman's body was praised, like the normal body, like the woman had a little cellulite, like some thighs, some booty, a little pudge on her stomach, and that was in the marketing. And then they went to the super duper, really, really thin woman. And then they switched and went back to, then they went from that to the cosmetic surgery woman. And instead of just, where is your body when you eating the way God intended you to eat? And I've heard it say, like, hey, the animals you eat, don't eat animals, or, don't eat meat. And I was like, and that made sense right there. I'm like, man, how did this cow get so big and strong, and this bison get so big and strong, and they eating grass? But when the doctor he said it's because they made to eat the grass. Humans not made to eat just grass, just plants. Humans made to eat meat. And he say, this is a heart surgeon now. He say he worked with vegans. He say he don't discriminate. He worked with vegans. He helped them get a plan to where everything is balanced. But he say the healthiest people that he see have a carnivore diet. He say consistently over time, the carnivore diet. But I think what messes it up is, the processed foods. He said if somebody eat a whole food diet, meaning whole foods, not processed foods, and not a bunch of sugar and a bunch of carbs, but a carnivore diet that has protein, it has plants, and a appropriate amount of carbs. So like a slice of bread versus 2-3 slices. And that bread is with the protein. And so I'm listening to the doctor because I went to bed 10 o'clock and then my body woke up 1:30. So then I put these doctors on and I listen to this while I'm falling back to sleep. And then, because I'm still over here trying to get the body clock right, so I had to go on ahead, boom, get on up, bring my sons. I'm going to have to stay up all day today, go to bed again tonight at 10. And then what he was saying, what the doctor was saying is, you got to be metabolically healthy. And metabolically healthy means when your body, and y'all, all y'all advice, y'all keep that out of the comments. This between me and the doctors. This here my channel. Go put your advice on your channel. It's because I can't stamp y'all doctors. I don't know who you listening to. And so the doctor say you got to be metabolically healthy. And when you're not metabolically healthy, that's what'll lead to that sleep apnea and that snoring real bad. And so that's what I've been going through. But I realized I'll fast, but then I'll carb load. I'll fast and then I'll eat processed food. So now, instead of my body, but when I fast and I eat a salad, like a grilled chicken salad or a steak salad, ooh, it feels good. Ooh, it's like, so it's fuel. It think about it. But then when I starve and I go eat a Big Mac meal, or I go eat a Popeyes meal, or I go eat a pizza, it's like, oh, like you feel full, but you feel sluggish. You feel like, ugh, because it's not fuel. And so I don't gain weight, but I don't lose weight. But then over time, I gain weight. Because if it fasts too long, you get really hungry. And it's okay to be hungry if you're eating fuel. Meat and vegetables is fuel, not processed food or a bunch of bread. So like with vegans, what they'll go do is they'll go eat a thing of fries. They'll go eat some jelly bread, jelly toast, and holler about, a vegan, a vegan. But yeah, you just spiked all your insulin. So now you vegan and big. And it's like, okay. Now that's what upset me. When somebody say they vegetarian or they vegan and they meaty, I'm like, that defeat the purpose. That defeat the purpose. If I'm finna be meaty, I'm finna be eating some bacon. If I'm finna have some excess meat on my bone, I'm finna have some bacon now. I'm finna have me some beef now. I'm finna hit more good steak. If I'm finna have excess meat on me, I'm not finna be around here meaty and eating bread and pasta. No. I ain't going through that kind of sacrifice to still be big and can't eat no meat. No. And the man say the human body is designed to process meat. These doctors, now these heart surgeons. And guess what? They against big pharma. These doctors say that we are being set up to be sick. That the processed foods is making us sick. And he say big pharma will have somebody do a study that says intermittent fasting is bad for you. Because big pharma know that if you become a grazer and you grazing all day, see, these other things, these animals graze in the field, but they got 4 stomachs. You got 1 stomach. So you're not intended to be grazing all day. You wake up, boom. And everybody I done heard say oatmeal is trash. They say oatmeal is trash. Say that's about the worst thing you could eat in the morning is oatmeal. This doctor say what you need to eat in the morning is an egg. He say you need to eat eggs. That's what the doctor say. Now the one doctor, he went all big on the meat all the time. Because he was saying a lot of meat have fat in it. And he said that fat, it spike your insulin. and insulin make you gain weight. He said, but if it's like lean meat without a lot of fat in it, then it's productive. It turns into real energy, but it's not stored. So it'll help you shred fat still, eating that lean protein. But he didn't get too specific because the interviewer didn't ask the right questions. He's a young interviewer. He wasn't really hitting them right. So sometimes I'd be like, I need to do an interview because, boy, I'm finna have this thing laid out, but I just can't waste my time talking to people all the time. So listen to me. This is something you need to think about, and you need to think, now this ain't one intended to be no health lesson, but you need to start learning about your body. And you need to start learning about your mind. And you have to make sure that you are not normalizing the unnormal, the paranormal, and all the other non-normals. You have to make sure that you're not normalizing it. And see, this is what we're doing. So I want you to think about that, and I want you to get that in your spirit and say, okay, what am I normalizing that ain't supposed to be normal? And it could be with anything. Your consumption of food, your consumption of media, your sex life. It could be anything that you normalizing. Your social life that you normalizing that should not be normal. That was not intended by God to be normal. And I thought about that thing too. I was like, man, you know what? Even all throughout the Bible, everybody ate meat. Like everybody, they had lamb, you know, they had the cows, all the kind of different kind of animals that they had, and they ate it, they feast, and then they also used it for sacrifice in the Old Testament. And I was like, man, so this right here, this what God intended. Now God cut off certain types of animals, you know, and certain animals was deemed unclean. And but then Jesus in the New Testament, he say God has blessed it. Like, that's why we say blessings. That's why we say our grace before we eat. We get that from Jesus, saying that if you bless it, then you could eat it. Like, because it ain't what go in you that defile you. It's what come out of you. But that's when they would eat. They would eat whole foods. It wasn't no processed food. And so that's why when we look at the Greek and we say, man, you built like a Greek sculpture. What do Greeks eat? They eat whole food. So when you go to these Turkish, like the Mediterranean, that Mediterranean diet, hey, listen, that Mediterranean diet, listen, Google Mediterranean diet, you finna be built how you need to be built. Now, see, some of them is still built bad, and that's because they don't have enough fasting time between their eating, and then they overdo the carbs. But then not only the carbs, the alcohol and the sugary drinks, and then the lack of sleep. So what you have to put together in your life is enough sleep. So we finna start sleeping more. You gotta minimize your sugar intake. Your sugar should be natural sugar. So your sugar being natural sugar, meaning the sugar that you get from your grapes, from your watermelon, from your pineapples, from your oranges, any sugar that got in it, your body can process that sugar. The sugar that you get from your Coca-Cola, and then your drinks that say 0 sugar, it don't have sugar, but it got another ingredient that make it sweet that your body don't know what to do with. Because your body is like, this is a concoction from a laboratory. This don't come from your creator. So you just dumped all of this in us, this red, blue, or white, whatever, and we don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with this. That's what your body telling you. So that's what I'm learning, and I'm finna be very intentional because I got 3 weeks before I go home. And I'm gonna tell you what this is. It is a lack of knowledge. I got about 3 weeks before I go home. About 2.5 weeks before I go home. No, about 3 weeks 3 weeks before I go home. And I need to be on a roll so that when I get home, I could keep on rolling. But anything I put in my mouth, no diddy. Anything I put in my mouth, it's finna be intentional. I'm finna ask myself, before I put this in my mouth, I'm finna ask myself, will my body know what to do with this? Will my body be able to process this and convert this into energy? If the answer is no, I'm not putting it in my body. And I'm going to say, am I hungry? If the answer is no, I'm not eating. And when I eat, I'm eating fuel. So you got to think about it. Just like this old good vehicle. If I drive it down the E like I did the other day, and I go up to the station and I put a bunch of water in the tank, what's it going to do? It don't run off water. Now, if I go and I'm on E and I put a bunch of gasoline in me, what I'm finna do? Die. If I go put a bunch of water in my tank, what this car finna do? Die. Or sugar in this tank. What you do when you put sugar in the tank? P. Diddy. Die. That's how people mess up people's cars. Put that sugar in the tank. What it need? It need fuel. What your body need? Fuel. So you got to think, okay, what did God give me? He gave you that lettuce. He gave you that cabbage. He gave you that beetroot, that rutabaga, that carrot, that fruit. He gave that to you. That's out the ground. So you eat that. That ain't processed. But when you go eat that beef patty, like my son Tatum love them beef patty. When you go eat that beef patty that come out that freezer from Golden Crust, that's processed food. So your body, and I'm gonna talk to my wife about this today. She been telling me, she like, Tatum eating so much, he eating so much. But I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I wonder, is he eating processed food? Because if he eat processed food, your body can't turn it into energy, so it make you want to keep eating. And that's why we have now Tatum. He's so slim right now. His genetics, he like me. Our genetics, we got a long ways before it started to catch up. Like, it started to catch up with me in my 30s. But before that, I could eat anything under the sun, and I had a 6-pack of abs. But that was just the grace of God, or just where he plucked me from on his world. But everybody not like that. My wife and my son, my oldest son, not like that. They body not like me and Tatum body. Our body is me and Tatum body the same. My wife and my oldest son, they body the same. They can't eat anything. If they eat anything, they'll look like, they'll feel on out and be upset. But it's going to eventually catch up with Tatum like it caught up with me. So I'm finna implement in him in his life while he young. Hey, well, eat the hill carrot, boy. Eat the hill Brussels sprout, boy. But eat the hill broccoli. But here go some grilled chicken. And you want some rice. Okay, boom. You can have carbs like that. But see, what we'll do is we'll do rice, but we'll do, especially in America, we'll do 3-4 portions of rice. It's enough rice to feed 3 people. Then on top of that, we have breadsticks, or we'll have pita, or we'll have some other toast with the rice. And then after that, we'll have a dessert that's like a cake. That's all carbs. Or muffin or something else. All sugar and carbs. So we get gluttonous. And that's why the Bible speaks against that. We'll get gluttonous with it. We get nasty with it. We just packing all kind of sugar, carb, and then we go to patting on that stomach. and wondering why that stomach is like that. And then I seen that lady on that video where she walking up and the lady said, "Ma'am, do you have on bottoms?" And she said, "Of course I have on bottoms," and lift up that stomach. Lift up that stomach, then jumped in the pool. I think it was an audio she used from somebody else, but that's how that lady built like that. And that's what we have to start being mindful of, and we got to be mindful of our body. So, and what the other doctor said, he said cardio don't help you lose weight. He say what burn fat is building muscle. That's why muscle weigh more than fat. He say what burns fat is building muscle. So he say resistance exercises. So resistance meaning curls, bench press, squats, or the resistance bands, using resistance bands, building muscle. And you could build muscle even without lifting weights. You could get the band, wrap it around a little pole, and just keep pulling that leg, and then get a thicker band. Keep getting thicker, stronger bands, and pulling that leg. Or grab with your hand and curl it with your hand. I do that. My trainer had me do that when I had a trainer. Just with the band, just resistance with that band, building muscle. And I realized that when I build muscle, because I build muscle, I never really get like too big, like out of control in my body, because I'm always, anytime I go work out, I'm going to build muscle. So when I go back to the apartment, I'm getting ready to head back. I'm finna be going, I'm gonna go build muscle. And then I'm gonna drink me some water. Now, this is the other thing. You got to have that water intake, but not too much water. You don't want water sepsis. But you got to have that water intake because your body need to be able to process. You want to be able to process and flush. Now, I don't work a job. So if I need to flush, I could flush. Y'all, you have to be careful because you don't want to be in them people's bathrooms, stinking that bathroom up, and then people know what shoes you got on. They done seen what shoes you got on, and they going back. Ooh, Lisa is Lisa is I see the shoe. Oh, it's stinking up. Oh, it smells like something crawled in her and died. Why is Lisa always on the toilet? Can you please stay home? Can you work from home? So you have to be careful with that water intake so you want to do your water intake and get your body used to that water Friday after work, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. So now your body know how to process water. Your body know how to use that water. And you could feel when you got enough water. So it ain't just always running you. So when you first get on that water now, it's going to run you. It's going to run you. And so make sure you got some poopery in your purse, or if you ain't got no purse, you a man, have you some poopery in your pocket. And you go in there and you hit you about 3 skirts of that poopery in that water, but you got to use the handicap bathroom. Do not use the general bathroom. Use the handicap bathroom or the family bathroom, where it's one individual and you have that poopery now. And another thing they say now is you ain't actually, because we were taught to drop and flush, but they say when you flush, it's a cesspool coming up. And that's how you get, that might lead to a UTI. And even for the men, when that dirty water hit that penile, that could lead to a UTI. And so that I had to think about over here, because over here, when you flush that toilet, if you sit down, you flush that toilet, as a man, your thing get caught in that whirlwind. I'm like, why y'all water so aggressive over here in England? I'm like, man, about to take my thing down with it. So then when I seen that about that cesspool coming up, I said, oh, okay. You supposed to get up, close the lid, then flush. So that's why you supposed to have that poopery if you're in public. So here's the thing. I want y'all to understand, this is a life coaching channel. This ain't just no relationship channel. We're gonna talk about money, business, love, everything, because it's time to get your life right. My wife's first company was, I think it was called Fit and Fabulous or something like that. Yeah, Fit and Fab. Her first company was called Fit and Fab, or Fab and Fit. And then other people started using the name, but when she did it, she was the first one with that, Fit and Fab. This was over a decade ago. And I got a $10,000 investment for that company. And, you know, life took over. But listen to me. Listen to me. I'm going to tell you something now. I'm going to tell you something. We got to get healthy. We got to get healthy, and we got to be healthy across the board. Healthy in our mind, healthy in our body, healthy in our careers, healthy in our relationships. Even if that's just a relationship with yourself right now, we got to get healthy. And so that is why as soon as I got ready to go, it started raining again. That is crazy. As soon as I get ready to go, it started raining again. And I'm not, they drive on the wrong side of the road over here. I am not finna drive in this rain. Cut this car right back off. Nope. Y'all forgive me. I got to keep talking. Y'all forgive me. Y'all, I'm not finna drive in this hail. It's hailing right now. And I'm saying H-A-I-L. Y'all know my accent. Y'all think I'm saying the devil house. I'm saying hail, H-A-I-L. But we got to be healthy across the board. And that's what I'm getting ready to go to. And this what my video was about yesterday, is do what's right for you. And the reason why I'm saying that is because what's right for you might not... Yeah, I got to cut this heat on. It's getting cold. It's 6 Celsius. So what's right for you might not be right for who you live with. Your body is not the same as somebody else's body. So what I mean by that is what's right for you might not be right for your husband or your wife. Your shaking up fiance, your shaking up boyfriend or girlfriend, your son, your daughter, your mama, your daddy, whoever you live with. If you don't live alone, if you live alone, God bless you in that season, because you get to do what you want to do. So you ain't got no excuse. You need to be looking good. You hear me? You need to be looking fantabulous. You hear me? If you live by yourself and you ain't looking how you need to look, you got to get serious. You got to get serious today, because it ain't no excuse, because you ain't got no influences. So like for the rest of us who live with somebody, we might want to be on plan A, but our family be on plan B. Or we might want to be on plan B and the family want to be on plan A, so we be messed up. It is really hailing. I think that's why they said if you have a dent bigger than this, you're going to have to pay, because they know they get this hail. So I thought this could supposed to be snow, but it is raining ice balls. Boy, I got to get out this England, boy. Woo! Woo! I don't know if God love England, boy. My goodness. It's like, can God love you with this kind of weather? Like this right here, I see why a lot of Englanders is atheists. Cause you're gonna question if there's a God when you got this kind of weather every day, all this gloomy weather. My goodness, like you gonna question if this is a God. You gonna be like, Lord, how hast thou forsaken me in this hill weather? My goodness. And then everybody over here in England is rude. I'm talking about rude. You heard in America, you heard of Southern hospitality. I am a Southern gentleman. I'm nice to everybody unless they try me. I'm nice to everybody. These people over here, you can speak to them now. You got to speak 3 times for them to realize what you just said. Excuse. Hello. How are you? Said hey 3 times now. You done got on the elevator with me. I don't want to be in here awkward with you because you look like Ted Bundy's niece. So I'm trying to be nice, just in case you got a little Ted Bundy in you. I'm trying to defuse you. They be startled when you speak to them. I'm like, man, this place, woo. Y'all forgive me, because some of y'all on here in England watch my videos. Y'all forgive me, but y'all need to work on y'all culture. Y'all, and if you live over here in England, you need to be the change that you want to see in England. You need to start speaking to everybody that you're in the elevator with, that you standing next to in line. Start striking up conversation, and you be the change you want to see in England. And it's about this weather. You need to get you enough stream of income that you could take you a vacation, that you could get you somewhere, that you just ain't got to wait till y'all summertime. You get you somewhere, take you a vacation, and see even when it's winter is good, just so you can see another part of life, another side of the world. If you ain't seen that, God bless you. But back to what I was saying, y'all forgive me for the tangent. And if you don't like tangents, this not the channel for you. So don't even hit the subscribe button, because I know you ain't hit it yet anyway, being nosy. But don't even hit it, because I'm gonna do what I do, how I do it. But I'm on a thing to where I'm one of them people go to the gym one day and I'm a fitness expert. Not literally. Not literally. But I'm one of them people, I do something one day, I'm trying to teach about it. Be barely knowing what I'm talking about, I'm trying to teach about it. And then we're going to have a lot of people in the comments. If you're in the comments giving advice, I'm deleting it. Because this not doctor approved. It's got to be a doctor that I have looked at and listened to. Not what you'd have heard, because this not your channel. So you not responsible for these people. You be engaged some of that terrible advice and somebody be hospitalized off of your advice because it sounded good. So keep your health advice. If it's contrary to what I'm sharing, see, for me, I'm comfortable sharing what I'm sharing because I know it ain't gonna kill nobody. But you being shared some, yeah, and I also heard acting like Mike Todd, I also heard that you should have a teaspoon of peroxide with your beef. And what the peroxide does is you have that before you have the bleach. And then you just drink a little swash of bleach to whiten your teeth if you're a carnivore. That's how y'all be in the comments with it. Listen, stay out my comments with the advice. If you ain't got no testimony, stay out the comment. And then also, regardless, even with what I give on here, you got to realize everybody ain't the same. So before you make a drastic change, if you know you got a stomach lining that do not process meat, then don't go eat meat just because you heard me and the doctor say it online. If you supposed to be vegetarian. You see what I'm saying? That's what my video was about, of you have to do what's best for you. You got to do what's best for you, but just because it's for you. So I don't have nothing against vegetarians and vegans, contrary to what people will think because of what me and these doctors saying. I don't have nothing against a vegetarian and vegan, because if that's what you need and if that's what worked for you, God bless you. We not all the same. I understand that. I got enough sense to understand that we not all the same. So I ain't arguing with you. But now if you go to feeling lightheaded, then you need to realize, oh, I'm on the wrong diet. You go to getting diverticulitis, and you go to getting sleep apnea. Now you realize, oh, I'm on the wrong diet. So now what I realize is I got to build more muscle. My body is intended to be very muscular. I'm supposed to be building a muscle group every day, 5 days a week at least. And that right there is going to help me be more metabolically healthy. And I'm supposed to eat low carbs, high protein. That's what my body is. And a lot of water intake. That's what my body needs. Like, my body be needing that water, and I don't drink enough water. So yesterday I came home, I drank like 4 or 5 bottles of water, and my body did with it good. My body loved it. It needed it. But that's what my body needs. One lady, she was real slim. She She said she tried to do the gallon of water a day and she got water sepsis and had to be hospitalized because her small frame, I'm 210 pounds, and I'm majority muscle, with except for this stomach that I'm finna get off of me. And I ain't got no like big stomach. Y'all see me in pictures and see me standing up. I ain't got like no big stomach, but it ain't where I want it to be. And I got to get it the way I want it to be, and I got to get it the way it stopped. It's not so reactive. What I notice, if I eat lean protein, like if I eat a salad, my stomach don't bloat. But if I go eat like carbs after fasting, if I have too much carb, my stomach will bloat. And it'll bloat and it'll hurt. But if I eat fuel, it won't do it. So I want you to learn your body. And I want you to set a goal to have a lifestyle change. Don't set a weight loss goal, because the scale may not change. You want to focus on your body health and your body composition, because you may stay the same exact weight but have more muscle and be healthier. Because they have some people who are skinny fat, like Stephen A. Smith. He showed his skinny fat. He naturally skinny, but he was fat, is what they call it. They call it skinny fat. I don't like the term fat, so please don't take offense to it. It's just what the term is. I do not like the term fat, because to me it's a derogatory slur. And so I don't like it. But that's what the literal term that doctors use and that people use is skinny fat, is what they call it. It's when you skinny but you unhealthy. And so this is the thing. You have to be intentional about this. Okay, I'm finna get ready to leave here in a few minutes. I'm gonna go to an hour. Be intentional about this, because what we trying to do this year is we trying to push to excellence. We trying to push to greatness, because everything affects everything. So when you get your mind right and you get your body right and you get your spirit right, that is gonna affect your life. That's gonna translate into your life. So guess what's gonna happen in your life? Guess what? I just had to pay $80-some today for parking. This parking is so expensive here because they don't have like a regular parking garage. So I got to park, and I just left from leaving the car last over the weekend, $80-some. Just ridiculous, man. Y'all got to do better, England. But listen, you have to, when you get that mind right and that body right and that spirit right, that's going to affect your life. Think about if you clicking on all cylinders, everything affect everything. You're going to be happier. You're going to be healthier. And then guess what? You're going to make more money. You're going to make more friends. You're going to glow more. You're going to sleep better. You're going to feel better. You're going to look better. But it has to be a system. It got to be a routine. It got to be what you do daily. It has to be, before you ingest something, it has to be, is this beneficial for my life? Is this beneficial for my body? Is this beneficial for my mind? Before you watch something, before you listen to something, before you eat something, before you sleep with somebody, is this beneficial to my life? Is this going to move me forward, keep me still, or take me backwards? And if the answer is not move me forward, then you do not need to ingest it. Whether it's in your mouth, what you watching, what you listening, with your body, who you sleeping with. Be intentional about your life, and don't just be intentional, be consistent. And the reason why I'm telling you this is my message, my sermon to myself that I'm sharing with you. And I'm finna get on it. Now, there's nothing wrong with cardio. You could walk 30 minutes a day, you could do whatever, but the key is to make sure that you don't double the calorie intake. So don't burn 200 calories, then go eat 400 right after, or 400 extra than what you normally eat, because now you're not gonna lose no weight. But if you eat your normal intake but you burning the extra calories, now you're gonna lose some weight. So hey, this Tony Gaston, God bless you. Appreciate you being here with me for this whole hour. we getting ready. We cranking on up. We gonna be as often as I can. I'm gonna shoot the hour long videos, cause we got to go. We got to go deep. No Diddy. But we got to go deep. We got to get the lesson. We got to understand. And in the hour long, if you realize it's a sermon, it's a lesson on 10 different things. God bless you. We'll talk soon.